He is neither a bird nor a plane. He is Superman, one of the greatest comic book characters ever conceived of. One of the oldest, some would argue the first superhero, and he started the golden age of comic books. Yet for some reason, there are many people out there, some who even claim to be superhero fans or comic book fans, that do not like Superman. And granted, he is a very popular character, easily the most recognizable comic book character in the world, globally, even more so than Batman, regardless of his movie successes. Superman has stood the test of time and is such a popular character and so polarizing for so many because they know him. And it is those who do not know him are the ones who do not like him. Because if they did know the man, the fictional man, they would like him. And it's always the people who come in with their presuppositions, their ill-founded knowledge, or their tiny slivers of knowledge are the ones who claim to know something about the hero and use that against him in an argument to say that he's not a very good character and they don't like him because of it. I'm not saying he should be your favorite. That's all up to personal opinion. He's not my personal favorite superhero. He's easily in the top 5, probably the top 3, and should be on many people's top lists. You can easily argue he's the greatest hero, and there's a way more evidence to go towards this case than against it, or for any other hero's case. And the reason that people don't like him, I see these arguments time and time again. People say that he's boring, that he's too powerful, that he's never challenged, that he's unrelatable because he's an alien. And these are really ill-conceived notions about the hero. Because while Superman is powerful, he is easily one of the strongest, if not the strongest character in the DC universe. Somebody has to be. And for some reason, only Superman gets this odd distinction of being boring because he's powerful. No one has a problem with Silver Surfer or Wolverine, yet they're incredibly powerful. Yet only Superman gets this distinction, much how Batman gets the distinction for being lame because he doesn't have superpowers, when there are plenty of other heroes and villains who do not, who other people enjoy. But what makes Superman Superman is not his powers, not his abilities, not what he can do, but who he is as a person. Some people think that he's unrelatable because he's an alien. Superman is arguably more human than any other superhero in the universe. The values that he has been instilled with his entire life, the person that he has chose to become, the values that he has held himself to, the ones that he wants to preserve, that is what made him the man that he is. That's what makes him such a great character. There are many other very powerful characters, both good and bad, who cannot hold a candle to Superman. Some of you can argue are more powerful than him, or there are many who have the exact same powers as him, other Kryptonians or Elseworld Superman from alternate universes. Yet Superman is the only one who comes out to be him. He is an oddity in the Ubermensch tier of characters. You can take a look at these alternate universes or Elseworld storylines where this little Kryptonian baby, or something like it, in the same circumstances, his pod lands somewhere else on the globe that is not Smallville, Kansas, right in front of Martha and Jonathan Kent. Or in a different time frame, like say it happened in the 30s or the 50s or 1800s. Or alternate universes where something else happened in time. And most of these outcomes are very, very dark outcomes. These are not worlds that you would want to live in because of who that baby ends up being. Very little % of the time does this tier of Ubermensch character actually come out to be good. And that says something both about the Superman we know's character as well as what power does. You take a look at the few exceptions like Kal-El. Kal, just capital L without the E, aka the Golden Age Superman, which was retconned. Superwoman from an alternate universe. Christopher Kent, Earth 22's Superman, aka Kingdom Come Superman. Mr. Majestic, who's very much like Superman. Secret Identities Superman. Supergirl, his cousin, and to a much lesser extent Krypto. People with these powers, these are the rare exceptions where they end up actually just being good guys, even though none of them become as great as the Superman that we know. Some of them turn their powers for evil. In fact, most of the outcomes end up this way. You can take a look at Ultraman, Superboy Prime, Overman, Hair Superman, Red Sun Superman, all the same guy who just branched off to different paths depending on, you know, what happened. And you also got characters with like the same power level as Superman who could stand toe-to-toe and fight him and do many of the things that he can do. Hank Henshaw, aka Cyborg Superman, Bizarro, Zod, or any other Kryptonian that the writers decided that, you know, survived the explosion of the home planet. None of these characters ended up as the same product of our Superman. None of them ended up this way. They all could have. But none of them did. And this is, you know, a testament to you know, the upbringing of Clark Kent, which is why I would argue that Jonathan and Martha Kent are the most important characters in comic book history because of the man that they raised and what he came out to be in the way that he did it. And none of these, and it also is a testament to, you know, just Kal-El himself, who he chose to be, because all of these other iterations of Superman or other Kryptonians or people who have, you know, similar powers as him, all of them chose not to be that. They all could have, but none of them did. All these people with the same types of powers as Superman, some you can argue are even stronger, depending on, you know, what writers you believe. None of them came out to be Superman. And he's so important, such a polarizing beacon of hope that everyone else looks up to. He is the leader of leaders. Yes, there is the Justice League, but it's not just Superman in there. There are other heroes that he relies on. He is not all-powerful being who can be and do everything. He can't be the best chemist in the world, the greatest inventor in the world, the greatest writer in the world, the greatest teacher in the world, the greatest athlete in the world. All these things Clark Kent could have easily have done. He didn't, because, as you know, the old saying goes, good old Uncle Ben, with great power comes great responsibility. And with Superman, given greater power than any other being in the universe, gives him the most responsibility. And what is so impressive about Superman is not only did he come out of this completely sane, that this didn't freaking tear his psyche in half, but that he was able to still be the shining beacon of hope. He was able to be the perfect example for everyone else to follow. If Superman is still standing, fighting for truth, justice, and the American way, everyone knows that there's still hope, and that they will fight alongside him because he is Superman, what he stands for, what he has been able to do. He holds himself to a greater standard than any other hero has to. He has to be the leader, the beacon of light. He has to be the shining example. And the fact that he has done so well in this endeavor is just a testament to his character. The fact that he has to hold himself to a higher standard than any other hero. The fact that he never compromises. He always fights for the right way. He always has the will to do the right thing, will sacrifice himself in a heartbeat for anyone, because that's who he has to be. That's who he has to be, the leading example, because of who he is, what he represents, and how powerful he is. You change Superman, you change the world, because the world is not the world that we know without the Superman that we know. And he has been able to do this for so long, and that's why people have loved him for so long and will continue to do so. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a comment on the matter. If you didn't see last week's episode where I went over why Batman can defeat anyone, you can go ahead and click on the link below for that, and tune in next week where I go over why Aquaman isn't lame. Until then, I will see you guys.